All right. Hey, y'all. We back. The team is back. But listen, my heart is heavy because I got my childhood friends here. Robert Townsend, Deborah Vines, and Carl Brinson. We all grew up together. And it's a special day for me because tomorrow's my birthday.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, really? Are you serious?
It's my birthday.
68.
Happy birthday to you.
Y'all hear him? Y'all hear him?
Happy birthday to you.
Y'all
Happy
hear him?
birthday,
Happy
CB.
birthday, Chris Brown.
Appreciate it.
Happy birthday
The
to
original.
you.
But listen.
We
We gonna have fun. I got my the hottest goddess.
Yeah, you done forgot all about me. We
I
got
didn't
Robert
forget
Townsend
about
in the
you.
building and forgot he got a
no, I ain't
co-host.
forgetting about you. That's why you sitting there. But listen,
Yes,
we're
sir.
gonna have a great show tonight. We're gonna talk about this weekend that's coming up for the film festival, and we're gonna let Robert explain it. And then the two people that's involved, Deborah Vines and Carl Brinson, they're gonna be recipients of the benefits and the proceeds from the organization and from the event. So we're gonna break this down. But before I get into that, I want to get into the sponsors. And
Yes, the sponsors.
we got the dispensary, and they got to listen. Every day of the week, they have a 20 to 40% off. So you guys can go down to the Village Dispensary in Broadview and take care of that business. And then we have Stacy's Cafe, and they have a special every day. Every day they get ribs, burgers on Mondays, whatever the case might be. And then we have the View, and the View is always open. They have 3 sections that they rent out, and they serve good food. I'm just being honest with you. And then the Blue Note, that's the dependable spot where everybody go and enjoy and have fun, and they have repasses and all that stuff. Then we got the Avenue. The Avenue is one of the spots that's going to be opening up pretty soon. So we're going to wait and see what they have. And then we have Tasteful. Tasteful have the $1 chicken wings, long as you eat there, and it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But I don't want to even. I just want to stop and say thank you, man.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you. Because at the end of the day, listen, it means so much. We got our kids out there. They're happy to be here. You've offered them 15 spots for Sunday.
Yeah, they're going to be at the screening of Meteor Man for the pop-up festival.
For the pop-up.
So there's going to be some surprises. I can't tell them right now, but there's surprises.
Oh,
Okay.
Well, tell the
that'll be great.
viewers what kids we have out. in
We
the
have
lobby.
kids from DLD.
Right.
And there are some of them are inspiring podcasters.
Okay.
So we want them to show them how the system works or whatever the case might be. And then we got Earl, which is in charge of all of this, and he helps supervise those kids, and he the one invited them in. So it's
Awesome. Thank you, Earl.
it's an awesome thing that we're doing. But let me tell you a couple things about Robert Townsend. One, I used to put them on the wrong train when we used to come from. You remember that car?
We were talking about that today.
We would come from UIC or the Navy Pier, where they had all the courts, and then I faked like I was getting on the train, and then I faked and I jumped off, and they got on the wrong train. They went up. They came to my house to beat me up. Him and Dennis. Wow. Dennis, they came to my house.
Dennis said, "What?
He right there.
Come in, man. Come in, Dennis."
He chilling. But at the end of the day, we are childhood friends. A lot of people don't know this. When Cooley High came in, and they were playing Cooley High, Coach East was the superstar of Cooley High. But guess who was shooting that basketball? Lefty.
Okay.
Left was shooting that basketball in that gym. Yeah, Left was shooting that basketball in that gym. And you talking about fun, and me and Dennis, man, Carl, we used to call him 8.
Yeah.
Because he had long arms and he could shoot that ball.
And Dennis was D.O.
That's D.O. That's all day. So this is very special for me. Very, very special for me. And I could tell you some more stories. I'll tell you one more story, then I'm going to let Townsend, and he can have it and introduce everybody. I went to New York to see him, me and Eric Sawyer. And it was a caucus, and I think it was the NAACP caucus.
I think it was.
And you performed in front of the caucus impromptu. You was just like, I said, man, come on, man, let's do it. And that's when you was playing the horn
Yes, sir.
with your
Yes,
finger.
sir.
I remember that, man. And he turned the place out. They gave him a standing ovation, clap for him. And that's when he was experiencing his life as far as trying to get into the game. Hollywood Shuffle.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's a classic. Everybody talk about the 5 Heartbeats and all of that. That's the classic. That's the one that puts you on the map when you out here doing your thing with your credit card.
Yes, sir.
Spend all the money on your credit card to feed people and give them. You couldn't pay them what they deserved,
Right.
but you showed them love. This is what the love movement is all about. That's why we call it the love movement. You got those kids out there. We moving in love. So we having fun. But doggone it, I don't want to know if I should cry or run. Man, because this
I want to
is
see you
special
cry. I
to
ain't never
me.
seen you cry
All of
before.
You broke my heart too. So,
Oh.
but at the end of the day, Robert, talk to the people. Tell the people what's up.
So first, let me say something. I have been watching your show, and I love how you give love. You have had people on your show. You are grounded. Because certain people try to do a podcast. Your heart is really into this, and so because when I was here before, Dennis said, "Hey, can you do it?" And I was like really tired. He says, "You got to do." And so then I started to watch the show. And the only thing for me was that sometimes the camera angles, I'd be getting sides. And I was like, "Come on, y'all need some more cameras in there.
Right.
What the hell is going on here?" But I appreciate, and this is a beautiful moment because we are family. We have known each other for 20, 30 plus years now.
50 plus.
Wow.
Think about it.
Yeah, I don't want to say because then people are like, how old are they?
Right.
100 years ago when I met Carl Brinson.
Right.
100 years ago. But no, but here's something. It speaks to every one of the characters around this table. Because, the beautiful thing is that we have all been given gifts and everybody's using their gifts in different ways. You know what I mean? And so, here's the thing. You've got 2 superstar sons. We all wanted to play in the NBA and you figured it out twice. But then now you pivoted and you said, I want to speak about the movement of love. And I watch the show and you do it all the time. So round of applause for the birthday boy.
Absolutely.
Round of applause for the birthday boy.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. But see, Rob, a lot of the things like you saying, here it is. You grew up on Van Buren and Kilbourne.
Yes, sir.
We thinking about playing basketball. You played a little basketball, but you had a dream.
We made a little basketball.
Yeah, but he went to Prosser, Weber, and Austin. But yeah, come down. Okay, that's fine, man. But anyway, so you went to Prosser first. We came over to Prosser. We found you, and then you go to Weber, then you go to Austin. But you grew up in on Van Buren and Kilbourne. What was your thought process as far as getting into the game of film and actors and stuff?
Well, let me say this. Back then I was always doing funny stuff and being crazy because you go like Lil Willie, and we do the jokes and stuff. And then I remember because see, y'all played a lot. I didn't play that much. I was on the bench, but I would be doing my voices like, "Yeah, put me in the game, coach. Yeah, put me in the game. I'm lucky for the team, like a leprechaun, coach." And I'd be doing all kind of voices.
And that's probably why you didn't get in the game.
Exactly. Everybody on the bench, we be losing. Everybody laughing and stuff. I'm telling you, they should really play me. I have a jump shot. I can take it through my legs.
Right.
Shut up.
Yeah.
But no, so here's the thing. This is beautiful. My heart is full. I mean, I've been having a wonderful, like today I was on WGN and I got to do the buckets for the Bozo show. And it was, and I almost wanted to cry because I always wanted, when we were living on
Yes.
Kilbourne, K-Town, we watched that show and they would be like, dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
And I never saw myself. Like, it was always little white kids. It wasn't any black kids.
Yep.
And I was like, oh man, if I could just do that. And
Except for
today,
that one black kid, he cussed out Bozo and Mr. Ned. You remember that?
Really?
Yeah. He missed number 6. Bozo said, "Oh, that's all right." He said, "F you, Mr. Ned."
No,
F
he
you
didn't.
too, Bozo. It was.
I
Funny.
kind of remember this. I kind of remember this.
Yeah.
So I had that today, and I was there, and because I had done the interview the last time I was here, and so when I said, hey, I'd love to do that, they brought it for the show today.
Okay.
So now, as we're all here right now, this is just bringing back just beautiful memories.
Yes.
Beautiful memories, because it did start. Like, sometimes people say, well, how did you make it in the business? You need a support group. You were on the team. You were on the team. She was on the team. Carl was on the team. It was like, Left, you could do it. You could do it.
Yeah.
Eric, Fop. So when I think about that, no one was ever haters. You were always like, Left, you could do it. Left, you funny. Keep going, keep trying, keep doing. And so then you take it and you use it. So now let's talk about today. Okay. So I'm in town now because we're doing a pop-up film festival. You say, what's a pop-up film festival? It's something that I just made up. I was watching TV. I saw everything going on in Chicago with all the boots on the ground and all the madness and the nonsense. And so right away, my brain went to Carl and the NAACP and the West Side, because that's where I'm from and I'm proud of it. And so then I go like, wait a minute, I got to do something for Chicago. So then, rather than like, oh, there's nothing to do, I just said, I'll do a film festival and raise money. I love Deborah and what she's committed to in terms of autism. Awesome. And so then I said, it'll be Carl and Deborah, and whatever monies come in all goes to them. And I'm just going to work my butt off because we need it. It ain't about like, hey, this is something. No, it's something to do. No, we have to do it or we're going to die. Or either they're going to say the West Side got blown down and nobody did anything. Nobody tried. Nobody helped. So this is what this weekend is about. So I'm going to throw the ball first to Deborah to talk about the Answer Inc. Because here's my question. I've been talking in interviews and I said, sometimes a person is dealt a hand, and they get a hand. And so somebody says, doctor says, something's with my son. He goes, well, he's autistic. He's autistic. And then you go, is that not, that means he's not normal? What is it? What do I do? You could have at that point, some people with children with autism, they get small and they have shame on them. And so you went in the other direction. You went like this. So what happened? Talk to me about your mission.
Oh, I'm being interviewed by Robert Townsend. Okay.
Yes, you are.
Basically.
Yes, you are.
Well, Jason was a preemie, so he was 2.5 pounds. And they told us that he was going to be developmentally challenged already. So by the time he was maybe 18 months old, I didn't see him meeting the benchmarks that he should be meeting. He wasn't speaking. He wasn't doing anything. It's like the body snatchers just came and took my child away. And I told my late husband, I say, look, I'm taking him to the doctor. We took him to like 7 doctors. And then the last doctor said autism. And the only thing I'd heard about autism was Rain Man. And trying to find resources in our community for myself and for my son, I could not find anything for a very, 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 very long time. I was just running from pillar to post. And at the time, before I started the Answer, I was working for Ceasefire. And so I got in the not-for-profit world in a lot of capacities. And the Lord had already given me the vision for the Answer before I even wanted to do it. And I was working for Ceasefire and for Hope Incorporated, which is for incarcerated women. And I said, I can't keep making everybody else's dream a fruition. And God has given me a vision to help families with autism. So 2007, we've been moving ever since.
Was it scary?
It's still scary.
How so?
Well, because Jason is going into a whole new genre now. He's 38 years old. And it seems like every 10 years, every 5 years is something new. Every time I think that I'm over a hurdle, here comes autism and reminds me that behaviors can come at any time. I mean, Jason is really pretty much, well behaved, but sometimes he gets overstimulated. I just can't take him anywhere. And sometimes if I do take him somewhere, I have to leave early. So my life is really, I have an adult toddler. I have to make all the decisions for him. I can't do anything without saying, okay, what am I going to do with Jason? So my life is really like I have an adult toddler.
So let me ask you this. What is your vision for the Answer Inc.? What are you trying to do at the deepest root core of this mission?
Well, it started with just supporting families, but now I want to support the entire community, the entire world. Starting with not just supporting the families, but we train in first responders on how to deal with our children because there's been so many mishaps.
Yeah.
Yes, we've done about 40 trainings. Captain Denard Wade is in there, and we've done one at Maywood, Bellwood, Broadview, all over the city of Chicago. We've been trained the park districts on how to deal with the children, because we not only want this mission and the education to be to families, we want it to be the community and the children, because the numbers are now 1 in 37. When Jason was diagnosed, it was 1 in 1,000. So if it's 38 people in this room, one of them has autism. So we want the children to know how to get along with our children, because the numbers are growing each and every day. And some adults are being diagnosed later in life with autism.
But
with
it's
ADHD.
very important to teach the first responders, because some people have been murdered.
They've died
behind that.
Yeah.
Or
I was
they've
thinking
been
of
hurt.
that. I was yes.
You see what I'm saying? So it's very important that you do that.
They've died. And you know, I have a quick story, and then I'm going to go on. But when Jason was about 12 years old, he had a medication imbalance. And we were just at Blockbuster. That used to be on 17th. You know how long ago that was? And we were in the store, and he just hit me. I mean, bam, right in my cheek. And I started just bleeding. My tooth was loose all of a sudden. And so I said, okay, let me just get you out of here. And it was more snow than it is outside now. And we didn't have a car at that time. So we had to walk from 17th and Roosevelt to 10th and Baton. So, you know, in the snow, that's quite a ways. The entire way, he kept hitting me. He kept hitting me. I was holding him. And when children with disabilities get upset, they get super strong. And I was much smaller than I am now. So I'm trying to hold him, trying to stay up in the snow. So by the time I got home, I told my husband, call the ambulance, call the ambulance. Ambulance called the police. The police came, guns drawn.
Oh God.
Everything. I'm telling them, my son has autism. He has autism. They just pushed past me because they saw me bleeding. There's no weapons. They were not listening. And so they, first of all, couldn't give me the support I needed. Then they grabbed Jason, they twist tied his hands, they twist tied his feet, and carried him out mummified to the ambulance. And it took Jason a long time to even want to be near a police officer after that.
Wow.
And so now, you know, because he's in the community, and now we training the police officers. We have events with them where they can get to know our families. I encourage our families to go to the police department and get to know your first responders in the community, so they'll know your kid in case your kid has a medication meltdown, in case something happens and they're in the store. When the police is called, they'll be like, oh, what's wrong, Chris? You know what I'm saying? They'll have a relationship. So we're working really hard.
Yeah.
Let me last question. I'm going to go to Carl. With this mission that you've taken on, do you have any regrets?
Absolutely not. Because you know what? This is the funny part right here. And I say this all the time. I just wanted to be a model. I just wanted to model. And I tell you, I think we had gotten into the 7th year of the answer. And I came home and I told my husband, I said, I don't want to do this no more. People that don't want to help, they don't want help for themselves. I just want to model. And you know what he said? You better walk that runway for
I swear,
because you in it now.
But you know what? You know what's really funny, Deborah? What's really funny? You just tell that story. But I was watching the video from Holly Robinson Pete, and there you were walking down the runway, girl.
Yes.
And I was looking, I was like, yeah, you were owning it. They got the right shot. I was like, as a director, I said, oh, that's the right camera angle. No, bravo.
I'm having a good time. And you know, every time I would be in the community, I would never see families with their children in our community. When I would go in white community, they would have their kids with oxygen tanks and, you know, wheelchairs and everything. And since I started bringing Jason, I can see now that parents are bringing their kids out. They're more intentional about their dressing. They're getting their haircuts. I send them to the right barbers. So our families and our communities are being empowered.
Bravo. Round of applause.
Yeah.
Round of applause from
Without
Miss
a doubt,
Deborah
without a doubt.
Vines.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going down.
Now I have a question. Are you teaching parents patience? I see a lot of parents dealing with this, and I mean, it's a sacrifice.
You know, it's not necessarily me or the agency. We bring in professionals like psychiatrists, neurologists. We have mental health. We have wellness days, and so we have a lot of wraparound services to help teach them patience. And I am the first student in class because I'm still learning patience myself.
Yeah. I was just watching something on Facebook the other day, and there was a mother that was saying that she felt like she was robbed of her parenthood
Oh yeah.
because she had a child that she was dealing with autism.
You know,
Have you ever felt like that at some point?
You know, I feel like that I was robbed of even having a grandchild from Jason, you know, of him getting married, him you know, walking down the aisle, you know, all the milestone things that you do. So that's why we create these dances so that parents can still see, okay, he has a date for the prom, even though Jason doesn't know what a date is, but you know, I had him a date. We had a limo, we had all of that. And, you know, I just still want to provide these experiences because, yes, I grieved the child that I thought that I wanted to have, right? You know, when my husband first came to grips with that Jason had autism, he was laying in the bed crying like a baby in the fetal position saying, my son would never play football. He would never do this. He would never do that. And then after then, you know, he started being this great dad. But like for the first 7 years, he was really in denial. And that's what happens when you have a child with a disability. You hope that things are going to get better. And yes, they're going to get better in some capacities because Jason has had shoes until he was 8. But I promise you, he said something to me the other day, and I cannot say it on air. But he said something to me, even though it's a little.
He be cussing.
Yeah, he was cussing.
He heard it from somebody.
Yeah, you know, I actually can say it because I came outside and I didn't know it had snowed again after I had just cleaned my car out and shoved everything. And I came outside, I said, God damn. And Jason said, God damn. And I said, what you say?
Hey, he felt it.
Well,
He probably was thinking because he had to get the snow thing.
Yeah, he got to help you snow it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
but you know, I still go through some grief moments, you know, because I'm a single. I've never been a single parent. Never been a single parent.
well, I salute you, Deb.
you.
I mean, you hang it in there, and then you taking it to another level.
Amen.
And at the end of the day, Carl Brinson.
But you know what? Before I end my part, I do want to firstly thank Robert for coming. You know, taking time out of your busy schedule and leaving sunny California to come to Chicago and bless Carl and I because we are working hard and funding is still very stringent. And I want to thank the Love Movement, of course, but I also want to pay acknowledgement to the legislators because especially the Senator, Speaker Welch, LaShawn Ford, Camille Lilly, and the mayors, and Mayor Johnson, so many that help keep the Answer Incorporated doors open.
Kimberly Lightfoot. But listen, before I get into Carl, and I know you got something to say, I want to talk about my man here to the left, Dennis Olive. We did our whole little thing together. We went from Weber to what you call, but his dad was a John Olive. Was a bad boy, and he was into the politic game, and he taught a lot of us how the game worked. And he works for the building department, and now you back in the building department, and you in housing now. And that was part of Carl's solution. Carl been doing sneaky politics for a long time, and I'm gonna say sneaky because a lot of people didn't know where Carl was after practice or whatever, and he was in the Young Democrat meeting. Young Democrats. He holding his meeting with him and with John. So Carl, Robert.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You just educated me. I did not know, but I didn't know he was so I go back to, you know, Ape playing basketball on the court.
Right.
But there was always something different about Carl. You know, we play ball, but he would make comments about politics and what's going on and look at that across the street and that ain't right or whatever, but he said it in his own way. So I always kind of picked up on that. So here's the reason, you know, my brain went to Carl. There are certain people that make a commitment with their life and they give their life to a cause, like how Deborah has given her life to a cause. For Carl, I don't know what clicked in his brain that he goes, we got to take care of these streets. We got to raise up these young people. We got to educate these knuckleheads. We got to point them in the right direction. So when I thought about this fundraiser, I don't know why my heart went to you first, because I know you're in the trenches daily dealing with it. And I can see how crazy the chaos has got. So my first question for you is, why did you start this journey? Why is this important to you?
I mean, I think we were talking about this earlier. I don't think it's something I started. It's something I always believed in. I always believed in helping people. You know, that just was me. That just was my nature. That's where I was raised, just to help people. You know, I was brought up in a family where my father was my role model and the person who mentored me about how he helped the family and how he helped people. He just helped people. So that just was all my nature, being helpful, being protective, or just trying to be concerned about people. And then I have these relationships with my brothers, my sisters. It's just about helping. So we calibrated in from just helping and try to help a community, helping people when they didn't have nothing. You know, started from just not being a part. My first few years, I started in politics before I even got into the NAACP. Because early days, I never thought about being in the NAACP, because being in politics, I still got what I wanted anyway. It wasn't, you know, I just made a phone call. We made a phone call and we got what we wanted. So, and about everybody, it was just about that somebody. And then you realize that this thing is bigger than you. And the things we started realizing that was taking place within the politics, how it impacted our community. And, you know, as I evolved into this role, but it's not a role. I never asked to be an NAACP. I didn't care nothing about the NAACP.
Edit that out the show, please.
Yeah, let's take that. But listen, but see, Carl, this is what people don't know.
Yeah.
There's a difference in the neighborhood and the community.
Yeah.
Neighborhood is where you live, and the community is the culture.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you are building a culture. I know you're keeping a culture going.
Yeah.
Behind Danny Davis, behind Jason Irvin, behind all of those guys that you watch, Jason Irvin and all of them grow up. And you see what Danny Davis did when he went from the 29th ward over to the 28th ward, and the changes that and the shifts that's made, because they got a lot of things that's going on now with him coming out of office. Now everybody playing the part, and you play a crucial part in that with the NAACP.
But I use the NAACP as a vessel. And I tell the people, my young folks and everybody around me, use it as a vessel. Like I said, I wasn't interested in NAACP. I was selected to be in NAACP. And it was based, to be honest, I'm gonna tell you a story real quick. How I got involved in NAACP. They wanted to do a fundraiser. Karen Harwell, Barry, and some people wanted to do a fundraiser. So they knew I knew Robin, I knew some other people. So you know, Harris, but they knew I knew some people, right? So they wanted to bring Rob in. And they said, could you get Rob? And I remember asking to come in. So I wasn't planning. So I'm knowing
it's all my fault.
Yeah.
So now talking me into coming to the fundraiser. So now they makes me like the fundraising chair, because they figured I got some access with celebrity and other people to come in and do some things. So bringing them in. So we're not going to have an event for a brother of mine who I'm cool with and let somebody else mess it up. So I'm going to stay with it to make sure we get this thing right, to make sure this fundraiser runs right, make sure we get them in, and I'll take care. So long story short, so that was my introduction really to the NAACP, because everybody else was associated with it. Remember, I just came off 1999 automatic race. I just ran for alderman in the 28th ward and stuff. So in that sense, I was kind of like still did a little community stuff, but I just was through with that interaction with public service in that sense. And I'm like, politics wasn't my lick at that time, because I've been in since I was 19 years old. So I'm like, I'm not be doing more of this mess. These folks out there still tripping on that stuff. So I get hooked into that. Fast forward a couple of years, and then next thing they asked me to be some president. It took me years to even talk about doing a report, because I just wasn't trying to do it. So fast forward, but then understanding my experience that I had with politics, understanding the imbalances and the disconnection that and how they treated Black folks in the political system, know how they treated us. So that gave me a door and a vessel for me to do what I really am. And I'm unintentional, unapologetically Black. And I fought that machine when I first, out of my end years of politics, I always fought the machine. And so now I get a vessel who lets me be nonpartisan, so I don't have to pick a party. So I have to be a Democrat or a Republican. And it stands for knowing what I really stand for is dealing with Black people. So I had to be politics. I ain't talking about being this ain't Rainbow Coalition. I ain't trying to be this and that. I hope y'all just don't give me no mic. 'Cause I tell you don't give me no mic.
Hey, you got it. Let's go. Let's go. Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Let's go.
So this give me the platform. Because remember, even when I was in the politics, I was what you call an independent Democrat. So we didn't have, we might have did some things with Democrat, but if I saw a Republican, I would vote my interest, my people interest. So what I'm saying, this vessel gave me that platform. And as I spend more time with NAACP, I start seeing the training it gave me, all the assets it gave me, and all. I'm like, okay, I got this now. And I'm going to use this thing, and we're going to do this thing like it should be doing. So when I come into the room, talking to the table, I'm not talking about everybody else. If we ain't talking about black folks, call me when you're going to holler at us. And I just use that as a vessel to come through. And I tell my young folks who are in there, I say, whatever you're doing, use the vessel because it's one good thing. It trains you up. Also, it gives you a network and it exposes you, and it's a national-wide organization.
Platform.
It gives you that. And so that's what got me into this. So I just stuck with it I've been president for the last 17, 18 years, for all the many years that I've been president. But as each time it grown, and that's how I got deeply in it, because it gave me that voice that I knew that was already in me, but it's like harnessed because I'm dealing with politics. You're dealing with a party. You're dealing with people. You got to be politically correct. You can't say this because if you say this, I can't offend this. I don't have to be apologetic for when I come through the door and I sit at the table with the parties, automatically what we talking about.
They understand.
Holler at me when you talking about black folks. Don't tell me about blue. I'm black.
Yeah.
And I hold everybody accountable when we go to conversation like that. So that's how I got involved, because it gives me that platform. I try to let everybody else have that voice and be able to say something, speak up and say something, do something when you see something.
Yeah, Kyle, you've been doing it a while. I mean, I remember you and Twan and Rob and Adele Givens and all y'all went, Benny Lee, all y'all went to the penitentiary and to speak to the people in the penitentiary. That's deep. Because who do they get a chance to really hear them? Who sits back and listen to the brothers in the penitentiary? Everybody crying the same blues, but y'all took the time out.
Yeah,
Adele Givens,
what was that? Man Up. What was that? Man Up. We did.
Yeah,
and we spoke to the brothers. And one of the things I was telling when we was at the penitentiary and when we was at the jailhouse, I was telling them. But I gave this message to these brothers a few weeks ago when all of them met. But anyway, I let them say, "Y'all in here? How we gonna save our streets and all y'all locked up in here?" That was the same message we gave when we went to the county jail. We told the same thing. We went to the juvenile center. If you in here, how we gonna save our streets and how we gonna be real men and how we gonna stand up? And we all up in here. So you leaving the ladies, the men, and defend the community. And so that was the message we were trying to take. And I said it was that vessel. It was the vessel that I used to be able to say that, to do that in a way that really people can't be offended because they know that's your calling, that's your mission. So they're a little bit more tolerable for it. So I use that as a platform to say and be who I really am and what I wanted to do and what I really believed in. So that's what it's about.
There you go. And Rob,
I got a question for everybody.
Yeah, everybody.
So Carl and I have been in the car talking. All right. At the NAACP, it's primarily women. There's not a lot of men involved. So I want to put the question on the table. Why do you think more Black men are not involved in the community?
Well, I'll kind of piggyback on what he was saying, people not being able to voice themselves. And Black men, I know they be having a lot to say. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going with this. Just learning how to be politically correct. And I just feel like a lot of Black men don't get a chance to voice themselves the way they want to voice themselves. And maybe that's why they're not stepping up.
Dennis?
That's a good question. The way I look at it, a lot of them just ain't interested. They lost interest.
But as the community goes under attack and stuff, you don't want to get involved? Carl, are you a unicorn?
Most of the time I feel I'm a unicorn. Because I be in these spaces. And like I said, most of the time I'm surrounded by a bunch of ladies, but I can go in other spaces where I got a bunch of men at. Like Legends. I can go to Legends. Perhaps we got a bunch of men at Legends. I can go to, like last week, we had a couple of meetings with the brothers in the street. You can gather to be in these sessions. But when you leave these doors, you're not coming to where we're at. I got to depend on the devil finds to be in those sessions, take up those spaces. You know, we get them in the other rooms with the returning citizens. We got a group there, but when we leave that room, everybody's invisible.
That's true.
And so when you look back, as I'm sitting there speaking on the platform and taking up an issue, speaking in front of speaking in front of CPS or the police station, when I look back, ain't no brothers back there. And the people we advocate for, they don't show up like that. I'm just being truthful, they don't. Now what I got is a sister who's standing up there. A sister who's trying her best to try to hold on and hold down the community and hold her baby up to where she's defending her community and advocating for her people. The brothers ain't showing up. That's just real talk.
Quick
But
thing.
they're in Tez and they're in Freds.
Deborah,
Do you
Deborah,
have representatives from the NAACP going out into the streets and trying to grab men to be involved? Because it could be a lot of situations where men may not even know about these other organizations. We got Black Men United out here.
Yeah.
They're speaking up.
But see,
Hold on, let me tell you something about
I'm ready.
That's a good conversation.
Let me tell you something about them. I'm one of those. I associate with them brothers in the street,
Okay.
and all them people you name that level of presence that they should have.
Yeah.
It's one thing for me to do some other things, but the presence I'm talking about, the way you should be, you're not present in those spaces. When I'm talking about some of the things that affect you as far as legislation, as far as affect you as having ordinances, that's going to affect your livelihood about contracts and procurement, where are you showing up to make sure those laws in those pieces of legislation and those doggone, what you call these processes, what they take, how they being changed, how you changing procedures, how you change those processes that impede on you getting the food or you getting a job or taking that X off your back. Where are you showing up when we talk about going down and saying that we're going to change these policies and these procedures? They're not showing. They're not there. So all the brothers you talking about, last week, I'm in the room with about 75, 50 brothers, the Harden brothers. All pledged to do one thing, but that's another conversation that we've been having since the Million Man March. We came back from the Million Man March. We organized. We supposed to get together. We was going to do this and that. Everybody on a hype for a moment for about a month or 2, 3 months ago. Then everybody back off in their world. Then we fast forward just recently. We got a bunch of brothers. We doing voter registration. We doing all this great stuff. But are we gonna stick and stay, or is it a one night stand? And most times it's one night stand. We gone.
Right.
So I'm just saying. So when you talk about, have we talked to brothers? I'm not the whole time with them brothers. Trust me.
Can I throw it to Deborah? Can I throw it to Deborah? So Deborah, with your foundation, do you have a lot of men that want to get involved? Why do you think that this is?
Well, that great question, Robert, because when my husband was alive and when we started the answer, he said, "It's so many women all the time." And I know, these children have dads, mother and father. And so that's why he created Just for Men. And he had about maybe 60 fathers that were really dedicated. But to answer to your original question, why do you don't think men are in the community? I think we're starting to see an uptick of, especially with the millennials, they're being more vocal and they're getting politically involved. But when you talk about people that I would say the baby boomers, they really didn't see their dads being in the community because they were providers, right?
Yeah.
My father was the greatest. He sold you your first car. But my father was the greatest, but my father went to work. He worked 12 and 13 hours a day. And so, it was still problems in the community when we were coming up. Of course, not to the degree that they are right now. But I think a lot of it just has to do with, we do what we see. Okay. And now I do see a lot of influences like John Harrell with Black Men United, with you, Chris, Denard with his group. Yeah. And it's a lot of men that are out there now that are encouraging the younger ones. Like you say, you have to start with the kids. So now I'm starting to see a shift. But in our generation, no.
Well, this is what I like to say. And I heard it, a brother said it today, Kevo Young. He said, why do people do not like to talk about politics, or Black men like to talk about politics and religion? We run from what's real. And politics is very real in our community. That's how we survive. And a lot of people are not attuned to that because they're trying to, they don't want to be caught up in no conversation or no, hey man, you on that. You got 5 different people running for congressman right now.
Oh,
who you going? Well, however, but who you gonna hang out with? They be scared to say I'm gonna this I'm
Yeah.
supporting
Exactly.
Or they'll say that they
But-
supporting so but go behind the booth and vote for somebody
Yeah.
else. That's why Trump is in right
Let
now.
me say, let's don't even put the political spin on that.
Okay.
You got folks who scared to say they're part of the NAACP.
Mm,
Black folks.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Don't nobody I'm talking about Lord knows the black professionals. They ain't talking about being a part of no NAACP. And even most of your people who run for this office, they don't talk about holding no NAACP card up. And these black people.
Yeah, when we
I'm
was
just talking
coming up,
I'm talking about black folks. I'm telling you, black folks do not talk about being in. You can say for the ones who economically might not have, they might not know. I'm saying for the ones who know, who's educated, but they ain't a part of NAACP.
but listen,
And they don't want to be. They might say they ain't nothing. They ain't doing nothing.
when we
But they're
was-
scared to be around their white counterparts.
Yeah,
let
scared they're
them
gonna lose
know.
their
They
jobs.
scared
Listen.
something gonna
Yeah.
happen if I'm a part of it. I'm telling you, it's all day long. Ask them.
that's
Man,
funny
don't stop me on
because
that.
when we was
that's
coming
true.
up,
when
when we was coming
Man.
up, NAACP meant Negroes are actually colored Polacks. You
I remember that. We was in school. That's what they talked about.
Whoever.
When we was in high school,
You
that's
remember
what they
that?
called, right?
But Rob, back to you, and I'm gonna let you turn it over. You chose two great groups to support.
Thank you.
chose two great groups to give money to. Now you're here. Explain to the people what your weekend is gonna be like.
Well, so let me say this. Here's the weekend, but the weekend is pretty much sold out. So we've raised some good money. So everything is really good. So what the weekend, for those of you that are going to miss it, it is 2 days. December 6th, I'm doing a master class from 9 until 10:30. I'm breaking down my technique because people talk about, hey man, you make classic movies. How do you make those movies like that? I do have a different touch. So I've got that class, but the class is sold out. At 11 o'clock, we've got a screening of my favorite movie in the world, The Spook Who Sat by the Door.
Ooh.
That movie changed my life as a kid. Have you ever seen The Spook Who Sat by the
Yes.
Door?
Yes.
So we've got Mr. Paymoon Rami, who is in the movie, was one of the casting directors on the movie. I'm going to do a discussion with him. Troy Pryor from XL is hosting the panel between me and Mr. Rami talking about the film. Then after that, we're going to show the 5 heartbeats.
That's
And
And
how-
we
so-
seen that 50, 11 times.
But I'm
11,
gonna do a spin back off of that. Bernie Casey said that was the best movie ever made that didn't make the money it should have.
Yeah,
Remember
Wow.
Bernie Casey
He quoted
said,
that.
yeah, he quoted that years ago. He said
Yeah.
that was the best movie ever made, but didn't get the money that it should have.
Wow.
But it's coming up now.
How
Well,
about
you know,
the residuals. I mean,
No, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. God is always in charge. And so if somebody says, you mean the 5 Heartbeats wasn't successful? It is successful.
Yes, it was.
It did what it needed to do.
Yes.
So we're going to have the screening of that. And then after,
Can I ask you one question? real
yes,
quick? We going to Broadway with that?
Oh,
no comments.
That's a good idea.
I heard it through the grapevine. I didn't know.
No, but so,
I just want to see a remake of it. I want to see Robert remake It's a Wonderful Life.
oh, that's a beautiful, yeah. Anyway, I ain't going to say nothing.
I want to see the Hive.
Oh, you like In the Hive. Oh, that, I was going to screen that, Carl.
That was what,
That was on the list.
man, I don't want to go off script, but you talking about my God. That was one powerful piece that bring tears. And so, I mean, you talking about a piece.
We've been knowing each other.
I
since
remember when we were
10.
sitting there and you looked at me at the
11.
screening.
I'm looking up like, oh my God.
But you know what? It's one movie
Oh.
that does not get the kudos that I think it still doesn't get. Of Boys and Men. That
Oh,
was my
thank
favorite
you.
with
Oh,
Angela
thank you.
Bassett,
Angela
she
Bassett.
died.
Oh,
my God.
we shot that here in
I
Chicago.
know.
Yeah.
I was on at one with Faison.
Oh, yes, yes,
I
yes,
was
yes,
on there
yes.
with you all out there in the cold, and Robert
Yeah.
was doing this, and his hat was turned backwards, and he didn't even look cold, and I'm freezing. Like, come on, y'all, shoot the scene. I'm cold.
So Saturday.
So then after that, Saturday at 6 o'clock, Columbia University, we got game night.
Game night.
We're going to play bid whist, spades, dominoes, Uno, Scrabble. So if you want to play, and free food. So if you buy a ticket to the Spook Who Sat by the Door, the 5 Heartbeats, you can come for free. Other than that, you got to buy a ticket to game night. But we're just gonna have a great time.
You're a real Chicagoan. You said be a whiz.
Oh yeah,
You know how to
I play. Oh, I teach.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
She a spades player.
Yeah.
She plays spades. She don't play no big.
Okay.
You can pay to play Robert personally.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, you got to come with it. You got to come
Yeah,
with it.
you got to come with
So that's game night. And then on
Sunday.
Sunday at 11 o'clock, we got the screening of Meteor Man. And it's like a special thing for kids.
Superhero, man.
Superhero.
Fine.
That
You
part.
got the vice lords. I mean, not the vice. Them lords in there.
Same thing.
I wonder if he was. Did you think about that when you was that part of your thought process? Were you thinking about vice lords for real?
Definitely.
Or, yeah, I thought so.
Definitely. All of that, that whole thing, going back to Carl, all of this is like community. If the community could band together and stand together, we could change things. And, and then you go like, if you really had a superhero, would you just use him or would you work with him and build on what he has? So for me, everything that happened in Chicago, I put on that screen. And I was like, this is my wish of like what we could do if we band together as a people. So, fantasy, again, it's the Trojan horse.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's a fantasy. But at the end of the day, Meteor Man became a hero when he lost his powers.
Speak that piece when you
Yes, sir.
speak it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so then after
He found out who he was.
And then and
lost
at that
his
point,
power.
it's like, if we don't have our own voice and our freedom, we're not free. So then what is it to, because, so that's a whole nother, but that's what the piece is about. And then the last thing we're doing is at the Comedy Bar, we're doing a comedy show there. The comedy show is sold out. It's with Laurel, it's with Leroyce Hawkins, and it's with from WGCI, Leon Rogers.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
And
my
so
homie.
all the events are sold out. There's a few tickets. Go to Event Noir if you still want to try to come. And again, this happened in 5 weeks. I called Carl, called Deborah, said, hey, can we make it? And all these volunteers came together. Shout out to all the volunteers, all the workers behind the scenes. And now it's sold out.
That's what we call the love movement. Listen, I wanna thank you, Rob, because like I said, my heart is heavy. It was some mixed conversations today, and I didn't know if this was gonna happen or whatever because of the information that we had. But the love that you showed me to show up to the show,
Yes.
man, my birthday.
Greatly
Come on,
appreciate
man.
it.
Come on now.
Come on, man.
Come on now.
You already
Come
know.
on now.
I ain't gonna put you on the L no more, on the wrong train no more. I ain't gonna do none of that no more.
Thank you, Chris.
I
Thank
promise you that. But man, from the bottom of my heart, and Lady Z, she already know, man. I do this for real.
I know
This
you
is
do.
for real.
Yeah.
And those kids are gonna learn from it. DOD, thank you for bringing them in, and I'm gonna put them on the show. They're gonna have their own little show.
I love it.
You see what I'm saying?
But I've been watching your heart, man, as you do this.
Yeah,
It's just lovely.
Yeah.
And how you shout out the sponsors. And you know what? It's funny because you're doing your own commercials and they're genuine. And you'll be like, if the chicken ain't good, it's on her. But I'm telling you, the lobster is the bomb.
Well, listen,
Yeah.
he
I don't
tells
know
the
so much
truth.
about the
He
script,
tells
you
the
know?
truth because he be going to them places every day.
does,
Every day.
Well,
Yeah.
I engage. I mean, I engage because this is why I engage. And I was telling, we got another team, and I got some more guys that's going to be a part of the team. I engage because if you don't know, you can't talk about it.
Yeah.
If you have to be engaged, you have to say, man, if that food is good, you have to know it's good. You got to go eat it.
Exactly.
You just can't say it because it's something to say, for the sponsorship. No, go visit. Go get engaged.
No, when you talk, it's genuine. That's why
Yeah.
I was like, because it makes me want to like, oh, really that place? Because I can tell you're like, you ain't lying. You're like,
Now, when you ever known Chris not to be genuine?
Hey, listen. He's definitely a person you can't put on speakerphone.
That's
the musty man.
Yeah.
The musty man, but see, it's more to the musty man than just being musty.
Yeah.
Because Chris is everywhere. He was like, "What you doing? What you doing here?" I mean, everywhere I go, there he is. Everywhere I go, and somebody even said, "How come you and Chris always in the same room?" Because we're both servants.
And that's the drink you call neat when you're ordering at the bar.
Yeah.
Ain't no chaser.
No chaser, baby. And you know what you're gonna get from me. But at the end of the day, man, Robert Townsend, I'm so proud of you, man. Because go ahead. Go ahead, big bro.
when you bring and live in the Sheffield.
Oh
Yeah,
man, let me say.
What is
Okay,
that?
Let me say something. I got to give Dennis Olive his love.
Yes.
I have been working on a one-man show about my life in Chicago, my journey to Hollywood, everything. And so I started workshopping it at the Marsh Theater in Berkeley. Who calls and says, I'm in the audience, I'm coming to your show? This one.
Yeah.
I was just in St. Louis at the Kirkwood Theater. Who calls and says, I got my tickets, me and Jackie, we coming. And there he is in the audience again. And so I love you, man. I love you. I want to bring it to Chicago. I've been talking to a few theaters here. So it is coming. It is
now
coming.
we've been knowing each other since 10, 11 years old. And this is the team. This is a full circle of how we show love for each other. And man, I'm so proud of you though, dog. Golly, you got that what's that new thing you working on with I can't think of the name of it. The Bear.
The Bear. Yes, I'm having a great time with The Bear. Where I come back to shoot the new season. Here's the thing: when I'm shooting, the only thing is that because COVID and all that stuff in the air, I can't leave. I can't go outside. We got to be in our bubble. But I'm doing The Bear, and then I'm coming back in January, February, and March to do The Shy. So Lena Waithe, I did the interview with her, so I'm coming back to do The Shy. Thank you so much. And so I'm just blessed, man. I'm creating, my stuff. I always keep my brain going, and the one-man show, Dennis has been there. I leave it all on the stage twice. I leave it all on the stage. So I'm just loving life.
So the question was asked, when are you going to bring it to Chicago?
I'm just figuring out my schedule, but I'm going to bring it here because I don't, I've been talking to a certain theater here and I just can't say.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Dennis got a lot of money, so he can fly all over the place. Yeah. I don't have no money. I need sponsorship right here. Yeah, I got it. But that add up too, because you got to pay that bill at the end of the month.
Right. You better.
Could I give a shout out for our NAACP family, because I lost my secretary about a couple of years ago, Carol Hankin and Page. We're still trying to reel from the loss of her. So I just wanted since I got a public mic, I just want to give the family a shout out that we are present with the family.
Yes,
but Carol Hankin Page was a long secretary as long as I was president. So that meant a lot to us. We still grieving, but
blessings.
It's
peace
a great moment
just
to bring peace, to have this thing, to be with my people in a moment like this, do this thing, this timely moment to show you how God works in ways that just calm the soul and spirit. So I just want to put that out there.
And since you say that, I'm going to end this with, in November, it was almost 12 people that I had association with that passed away. And I mean, some might have been sick. Some got hit by a car. One lady laid down and didn't wake up. So it was a lot of that. So when you mentioned that, all of that came back. And I just, but this is a great night for me.
This is love.
Happy birthday to me. Forget it what everybody else is talking about. And as we end this show, I want to thank Earl. Want to appreciate you for giving us the opportunity. I want to thank DLD out there. Thank you. Yeah, and as we always say, treat people the way you want to be treated and never give up. Never give up. Never give up. Don't never count yourself out. Okay? God bless you. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you.
Just got dressed. Need something to get into. Pretty girl on deck.